Going on.
You've caught the eye of someone important.
Cloak figure. Saddles. Up to you. That's a weird one. Hidden behind a raspy whisper and a long, drooping hood.
If you're interested in making good pay and a good friend, head to the narrows at the western end of the gullet. Once you reach the alleys, go right and right again as soon as you can. Then, follow the bend to
So
the
this
left.
is me now speaking to
The bullies guarding the door have a
other people.
weakness for chewing Svev. You can follow their trail.
her teeth flash under her hood.
Tell them Dario sent for you. And remember your manners.
So let's call. Oh, dangerous. I can come back to that, I suppose. As I can say, even some of these people, some of the mobs in this game are, even though they're only +1 ahead of me.
Never smelled meat like that before. All half rotten and briny.
Why do you bother me, little kith?
Hey, I'm not Lil. You enjoy working here? Bertha, have I heard that name before?
No.
Talks a fat goblet of spit. It lands beside the food she's preparing and splatters.
The gullet reeks of illness. The beds are too small. An imp tried to nest in my hair. And Firna, the tavern keeper, refuses to give me more than 1 day off a month. How am I supposed to hunt when I am chained to this stove?
Scratches her face into a grimace.
Maybe I'll become a pirate. Get myself a bird and an eye patch.
As I can take her. Do I want to take her though?
How do you mean?
I've already got a cook. I don't think I need another one.
I'm not daft, you condescending little mite. Tell me why, and in what capacity, I should join your crew. It's been too long since I felt the wind on my face. I'd take the dead fish smell of a ship in port over the stink of the gullet any day.
I guess we're taking her. Her bird mouth curls up into a wistful smile.
I don't work for free. Suit yourself.
Alright. A little too expensive for my taste. That's me. Right.
I shall be discreet.
Well, there's Persia.
Relax, Bayer. In and out, no complications.
Relax. We're emptying a vault, not water shaping. Martino better come through with that boat he promised.
I'm sure there's a dinghy in your future.
Ah. That's cool. Alright. Well, that's great. I'm gonna have to tell her. That's not gonna come to great terms. Woman bends over a pile of dried and bitter-smelling herbs. She's crushing and mashing them on a dirty scrap of parchment, coughing with effort. She steps in front of you to block your way, wiping a rag sleeve across her rheumy, bloodshot eyes. As she does, her hood slips, and you glimpse 3 faded stars on her forehead, the emblem of the children of the Dawnstar.
Pitli? Good God. on, I nearly didn't recognize you. You look more death-warmed over than Dawnstar.
I didn't see you there, Shody. Listen, you and your friends should move along.
She turns her head and stifles a croppy cough.
I'm not feeling so good, and I'd hate to get you sick.
Are you ill?
Nothing a little ginger root and some bed rest won't cure. Please, let me be.
Perhaps there's something I can do to help.
That's not...
She erupts in a fit of coughing, and she catches her breath. She gives you a closer look.
Wait, you're the one someone in the other Dawnstar's been talking about.
She lets out a rattling sigh.
In that case, maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
There's some sick Raparu in the back. Not much I can do for them now besides keep them comfortable.
She looks at the crimson speckle on her wrist.
And hidden.
Is that wise? Keeping a room full of sick people in the most crowded district in the city?
He glances around as if to see noxious vapors in the air.
It's better than leaving them to wander the district. I can give them a dignified death, if nothing else.
Why are you hiding sick people?
Because they've got Drowner's lung. Spreads like gossip and kills even faster.
Drowner's lung?
A gift from the Valians.
She skirls, dabbing the root from her eyes.
Fills your lungs with fluid. Gets you coughing all the time, trying to clear them. One of my patients coughed so hard, she broke a rib. Eventually, it gets so bad, you can't hack it out. You just lie there, struggling for breath, until you choke on your own phlegm.
Lovely.
I hear it's a long, hard end.
She trails off for a moment, a distant look in her watering eyes.
I heard some Raparu had gotten sick, so I brought them here to care for them. City healers don't come down here.
She frowns and gives her nose a vicious swipe.
Realized what it was when I heard the rattle in their chests, the way they gasped for air.
She wipes the back of her hand on her leg and shudders.
Only cure is an elixir made with pine seed oil. It costs a lot, though not nearly as much as an epidemic. Still, if news of this outbreak gets out, these poor souls will get tossed into the old city. No one with any money in Nekataka spends it on the Raparu.
Wish I could do something.
Maybe you can.
Her firmly eyes shine.
You can get nearly anything on Delver's Road. Only trouble is finding it. And paying for it. Unfortunately, the children of the Dawnstars don't have many connections in this part of town.
She turns away, whooping and hacking into her arm.
But I bet you could find someone at the tavern who knows where Delver's Row is.
I know where it is.
Criminal types like to wet their throats after a long day of lying, cheating, and stealing.
She chuckles herself into another coughing fit. Delver's Row. What interest to the children of Dawnstar have in God?
About the only honest one. The Raparu here are treated like garbage. Even made to eat garbage from that scrap heap opposite the lift.
She shakes her head.
Not that I need to tell you.
Not that I tell you.
And Dario and his Principe scum took advantage of the neglect down here to set up the black market on Delver's Road.
I know who Dario is, but we're gonna...
He runs most of the criminal mischief that goes on here. Some say he's an old Valian traditionalist. Some say he's a thug with good taste.
She holds her hands out, shifting her open palms like platforms on a scale.
Either way, I steer clear of him.
She shivers, whether out of fear or illness.
All the while, the gullet gets more crowded as tribes from the other islands come to Nekataka. Some are driven from their homes by pirates, raiders, even trading company thugs.
Her eyes darken.
Others hear stories of the foreign wealth pouring into the city. What they don't realize is most of it flows between the foreigners and the palace.
Makes a circular motion with a finger. Yeah, what goes around and comes right back again. So Dawn Stars are helping out?
As best we can. Most of us came from Red Saris after the Vorless Plight and the Saints' War. Or we were born to families that did. We remember what it's like to scrape by.
Her eyes stray to the stained and spotted floor for a long moment. I don't know whether I should go with the third one. See what happens.
That's what Dario and his people say. They recruit Raparu to sneak things from the docks, report on meetings between traders. I can't blame the Raparu. Not when the alternative is eaten from a trash pile. But I don't trust these Principi any more than I do the trading companies.
She folds her arms, shaking her head.
Difference being, lass, the Raparu be their customers and confederates alike. To the company bilge barnacles, they be only product.
Perhaps the end of his snout.
And whenever the city authorities finally crack down, the Raparu will be caught in the middle.
Oh, maybe I can figure something out.
Some days, I think maybe this is why Aethys brought us to Deadfire. So we can do some good. Other days, I'm too damn tired.
Arcs her back, popping her spine. I was told you may be able to help with food shortage in Gullet.
We tried, but the one away is prize share. Meaning anything we'd give these people has to go through the palace. Best I can tell, our food went to the Queen's table, assuming it didn't rot in the storehouse first.
I'll take the first one. If the Queen sanctioned more shares for the Rapure, would the Dawn Stars donate crops again? Her thin lips worry together, but she nods.
That's a question for Samhain. I'd ask her myself, but I got my hands full here. She's High Priestess at the Temple of Gone. Tell her Pitli sent you. She'll listen. Probably. Need something?
Yeah. Alright. Come back. I say we have to do that other quest for the Deadlight. I have to do that at some point. I've got the spyglass, so I can come back if I need to. Brass.
I've been dreaming about a priest that died, then rose again. What do you think that means? I see him walking Eora. Nothing but bones, lit by the flames of his soul.
No idea.
Halt! What is your business at the Brass Citadel?
Looking around?
You're the Watcher. The one who nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth.
His wife quirks and a grin.
The Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs.
Points to the steps.
Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right.
Is he in charge around here?
Hazanui Karu is the ultimate authority in the Brass Citadel.
Puts his arms over his chest in a salute.
But she must endure the sops at the palace. When she returns, I'm sure she will grant you an audience. For now, Atsura Nui speaks with her voice.
Nui and Nui.
Leave. No Valiant spy is coming through on my watch.
I'm a merchant. I have business inside.
You want to see our walls, our cannons, our powder house. You must think I'm an idiot.
Ak, you got one thing right.
A well-dressed fairy and a young but determined guard are arguing by the gate.
The Royal Deadfire Company is a trading company, is it not? And you are on Kahanga soil. You cannot turn me away.
The Ferrarian's words only anger the guard further. Her face darkens and she grits her pointed teeth.
The Brass Citadel and the Royal Deadfire Company operate under the auspices of the Ranga Nui of Rawatai.
She straightens her shoulders and crosses her forearms over her chest in a stiff salute.
We answer to him, not to you. And certainly not to some tribal queen of Nekataka.
Alright. Okay, take a deep breath. We can work this out.
Oh, you're one of those.
Excuse me?
These Valians are always sending their spies to snoop around, and I won't have it.
The guard glares at the merchant even as she speaks to you. The merchant rolls her eyes.
And these Rawataians think they own anything they stack 2 stones on top of. I am here to conduct business, not engage in petty power struggles.
Like, if the guard will let you in, that's about it.
Correct. And how am I supposed to conduct my business?
Why anger one of the largest trading factions in Deadfire? Leave gracefully now and try a smoother entrance later. He raises an eyebrow at you.
I suppose there is wisdom in that. Very well. And Corres.
He nods to you and bows deeply and mockingly to the guard before leaving.
Good riddance to her. Thanks for your help.
Can't see anything.
With sails unfurled and sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done, Emerini. Report to Wakoyo Nui when your hands and your temper have healed.
That's the last time I ship out with some soft-handed runt.
So this must be like another person I can grab.
Come to gawk, too? My punishment's over, you know.
He looks away and crosses her arms carefully to hide her burned hands. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
I shouldn't take my anger out on you. It's not your fault I punched my captain.
It's as if the mere mention of the incident takes her back to it. Her face darkens with anger and a bitter snarl transforms her features.
Though maybe he shouldn't have insulted my aim. Like I don't know the difference between a smooth and rifled bore.
Takes her hand, quietly stewing. Seems drastic.
He asked if I knew where I was pointing my cannons. I told him to bend over in front of one and we'd find out. It escalated from there.
Yeah, that
Anyway.
escalated quickly.
I'm not reporting back to Wakoyo, that's for sure. I crewed on mercenary ships before this. Come to think of it, that suited me better.
Friends and Impishly. That's a new one as well.
Still a scramble root at heart, I guess. But I'm plenty experienced. Maybe I'll see if anyone's looking for an expert cannoneer.
See how much she pays. She looks up and down, considering your offer.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I only crew with captains I know. Either personally or by reputation. I'm sure you're capable. But I don't know enough about you. Yet.
Eyebrow quirks up in hopeful suggestion.
Let's talk again when you've made a name for yourself.
Well, I'm looking at the cannoneers and she doesn't look like something I should care about, so...
I've got all sorts of goods and supplies. Take a look before you head back out.
Why are you working at Rotarian Outpost?
Because I'm from Rawatai. Or, to be more specific, my ancestral home's been part of the Empire for decades. Few generations now.
How did your homeland become part of Rotarian?
The usual way, I guess. Their soldiers beat ours.
Doesn't that bother you? She glances around to see if anyone is in earshot.
I guess it used to. When I was younger, I grew up hearing stories of the time before from my grandparents. But they were children themselves when Rawatai took over.
She frowns at you thoughtfully.
Some wax romantic about the old days. Anyways, I'm just trying to make a living. That's why I'm here, after all.
So what's it like living in Rotarian rule?
I don't know. I never known anything else. We've got the Rawataians' fancy new irrigation canals now, and the roads have gotten better. The ones leading into Takoa, anyhow.
Ah, lost in thought and sparks.
Funny thing is, the further you go on them, the nicer everything gets, and the more it all looks like this.
He nods at the stone walls and towers.
That's a better subject. Take a look.
Why does your Ronga carve his name into a rock?
The Ronga Nui, and it's a commemoration to show what he built.
Oh. Then did your Reparo also write their names on other stones? For what do you squawk and gloat over a heap of stones? Akira, you Rawataians are strange cousins indeed.
A well-dressed Tuan woman shakes her head at a Rotuan man. The tone of their debate is spirited, but not unfriendly.
The brass citadel is a marvel of modern engineering. With the gates barred and the cannons primed, it can withstand any attack and weather any storm.
He and his Huan friend turned to regard you.
Your people are builders too. Perhaps you can appreciate the value of a fine stronghold.
I'm sure the brass Citadel is very nice.
Please, spare us empty pleasantries. We transformed a rocky cove into the best defended harbor in Nekataka.
Does look nice.
Such achievements must be celebrated.
This rocky cove was once a prized fishing spot for the Riparu. These Rowatayans act as if every bare islet is merely awaiting a fort or a farm. They cannot look at anything without planning to change it.
To strive is to survive. Those who would achieve greatness must make the world a better, more ordered place than they found it.
Why change the world when you can learn to live in it the way it is? This is what my people have done for thousands of years.
Could be rationale. Like Stoic though. Even the mightiest works crumble. Why waste blood and sweat on them?
And we'll all return to the wheel, but that doesn't stop us from living a full life now.
He snorts, but there's something good nature in his disagreement. Rolls his eyes. Irresponsibility? What?
Akira, nothing invigorates like a good discussion. Thank you for indulging us. There is so little we understand of one another.
Sabormi. A young woman with a bright wide smile and eyes to match raises her hand and gives you a quick but enthusiastic wave. Then, with an exaggerated look of embarrassment, she stops herself and crosses her forearms over her chest.
I always forget that part. Say, you're the Watcher of Cadnua, aren't you?
I said well.
I've never met anyone famous before. Except the Hasanui. She yells at me sometimes.
Hasanui. The Hasanui yells at you?
Oh, all the time.
She screws her face up into a look of mock seriousness. Still, she can't keep from smiling.
Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming. Sabormi, if you lose the ledgers again, I'll have you clean the latrines.
At this last comment, she leans close, her eyes wide and voice low.
All this time, I didn't realize she knew my name.
Oh, are you always this excitable?
It's just, this is my first time away from the rough country. I'd heard there were thick, green forests and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this.
She shakes her head in wonderment.
You must have traveled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places.
And had adventures you wouldn't believe. See the world, Sabormi. Travel is grand.
I sure hope to. I love Rawatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms, or hearing about mudslides burying a village somewhere.
The buoyant expression sags, but only for a moment. You're the quartermaster. Can you sell me anything?
I really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Hasanui's orders. Maybe if you impress her or Atsura, they could make an exception.
Maybe.
I've got it.
Ooh.
Done and done.
Oh. And Captain Rika and Muscora to the oft-admired but questionable attired Captain Rikai. This letter should reach the Brass Citadel long before I do, which is lucky for you, because you'll need the time to make some Hazaraf winnings to settle our last bet. Never challenge a captain of the Rupua Cora Kerel spitting contest. My eldest knitted a pair of those fancy socks you love, though I hear Deadfire's the kind of place where it's nice to feel the sand between your toes. Maybe it really is the haven everyone says it is. You know before I do. Ooh. Ooh, when you see ourselves have a pair of razor skewers, some arak, and about 30 palo nuts of varying sizes ready. The grand deeds and ill defies wagers, Captain Muscura. Greetings. The man behind the desk regards you with attentive, unblinking eyes and a perfectly open expression. His smooth features make it hard to pinpoint his age, though the crinkles at the corners of his eyes suggest he is most especially young. He cocks his head, taking you measure. He pauses before speaking, just a little longer than seems normal. When he finally does, he crosses his forearms over his chest and gives you a slow, exquisitely courteous nod. The whole gesture is so perfectly choreographed that it seems he must have practiced it many times.
Watcher Nui, the Lord of Cadnua.
He gives you a sleek half smile that reveals a row of perfect pointed teeth. In his careful stare and the pause before he speaks, you recognise that he's studying you.
I'm not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style.
That's kind for you to say so. Well, it seems like he's getting a bit, how we say, up to something?
Few with abilities like yours would be so humble about them.
The eyes shine with interest. He blinks, perhaps for the first time since your conversation began.
I am Atsura, Grand Secretary of the Royal Deadfire Company.
It sounds like a significant title, but he is strangely emotionless. He might as well be describing the colour of his clothing. And what's your business here?
Rauatai has long maintained trade interests in the region.
He gives you that unusually placid smile again.
While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here.
He spreads his hands wide to include his rather plain, dim office. Honoured to meet you.
And it's a pleasure to meet someone of your elegant manners.
Being nice to me, I'll be nice to them. He dips his head, returning the sentiment.
Hazanui Karu will want to meet you as well, but she is stuck in Serpent's Crown. It is a place of entirely too much talk, and I find that the more talk one hears, the less it means.
You're not exactly concise.
Forgive me. I deal with many different types of people. It's not always easy to discern what they're looking for.
His smile takes on a apologetic slant, but his eyes are searching your expression.
Allow me to state my request.
Purses his lips and tenses his fingers.
The demand for luminous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold, and their officers too greedy.
He puckers his lips as though as thought at a lack of dissertation at a dinner party. Discretionate.
Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Huana tribes. This risks souring the Kahanga royals against all foreign involvement.
He inclines his head like he's about to let you into a secret.
But you can curtail their growth.
This isn't about the welfare of Deadfire. This is about them outpacing you.
By snapping up land we need to grow food and build ships for our people? Indeed. But our interests and Deadfire's are not mutually exclusive.
He interlaces his long, well-manicured fingers.
The Valians have sent an expedition to Pokokahara, a storm-wrecked island believed to house a vein of luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the luminous Adra near Port Maje.
He apprises you again with those unblinking eyes.
If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite.
Maybe.
Find the luminous Adra at Pokokahara. render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have, rather than reaching for more.
His eyebrows rise a degree. What a request and an invitation. What's to say I won't tell the Ferians about this?
For all their faults, they don't lack imagination. I'm confident they know of our intentions.
Why would I help you?
There is no need to be coy. I can see you considering the angles.
Clever.
I respect that.
He nods at you the way you might at an opponent over a game of, whatever that, probably chess.
Rauatai is a mighty and wealthy nation. And with trouble brewing in the Deadfire, you'll find it useful to have an ally that is both.
We'll see.
Deadfire is a tumultuous place. Consider the value of an ally with ships, cannons, and the backing of a great empire.
He gives you a soothing smile.
I do not have the precise location of Poko-Kahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there.
Circles a small, out-of-the-way island on your map.
Now, what else can I do for you?
What exactly is the Brass Citadel? He hesitates, looking at you as if answered is obvious.
It's a trading post, of course.
Your trading post has high walls, cannons, guard towers?
Anything worth building is worth protecting.
You seem different from the rest of the Royal Deadfire Company.
How do you mean that?
Exactly what I mean. He lowers his head, watching you all the while.
Are you making advances at me?
No.
It's for the best. This would be a most inconvenient time to begin an attachment.
Alright. Okay.